Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Will, and I'm the Senior Director with Cvent. It's an event technology company. And actually, when I was discussing the session that I'm going to host today, I thought it's going to be a little different kind of a concept that I'm going to bring in front of you. I have been in the event industry for the last 16 years so far. And I think what I'm going to discuss is what the world is doing around event technology. How is the world adopting event technology? What are the tools available for MICE to make it more productive, to make it more valuable, to make it more useful? And at the same time, we're going to talk about today's landscape around events and meetings. So first thing first, this is the first time I'm in Korea, and my experience has been fantastic so far. I came in on Sunday. I was in Seoul for 2 days, did a little bit of site tour as well as some business meetings, and now in Goyang. So thank you so much for all the hospitality. This is me that you see on the screen. This photo was taken about 6 years ago before I opened up the Singapore office. So as you can see, selling event technology is not easy either. You lose your hair. And I'm sure you're all in the events industry, you're planning events and meetings, you kind of resonate with that, right? So what I'm going to do first is, in today's session, I'll focus less on PowerPoint presentations. I'll have more of videos, because I believe that videos and what you see as an experience, it talks better. So first thing I'm going to start with is I will share a video about us, about Cvent. And then I'm going to talk about trends around the event industry, virtual events, hybrid events, and the technology that is used to manage these events. So quick video, sit back and enjoy, about Cvent. So I'll quickly hold the thought around the golden age of events, because as an organization, we believe that we are entering the golden age of events despite the pandemic. And in the next few slides, I'll refer to the pandemic, the expectations, the kind of events and meetings that we are hosting, and what do planners expect as well. Now, this is a little bit about Cvent. Again, we are a global company, so we're not just American. We started in America, but we are a 4,000 people global organization. I look after Asia, and whatever we talk about technology, it's available in Korean as well, so it's a local language. We have a local partner over here, Channel K. So we are very well equipped to service customers over here as well. But the first thing I talk about, let's take a look at some of the event trends. What's happening right now? And I bring this data to you based on our experience in working with customers globally. And in fact, even in the last 2 years, even with virtual events, as a company, we have helped customers manage more than 500,000 events. So we do have a lot of data. So first thing we talk about when we look at event trends, what's happening right now? The first thing is continued uncertainty. What's happening over here is, and this puts event planners and organizations in a bit of a limbo, because you may think about planning an event and hosting an event, but with the COVID situation, maybe there's a spike in the cases, right? So you may not be able to deliver the same in-person experience that you may be planning to do. The alternative is what we're doing right now for this event, for IDCF, is we are hosting it as a hybrid event. So there is a virtual component, and there are people who are attending the event virtually. So I would also like to say hello to you, sitting over there attending that virtually. But then the second thing over here, the trend, is that technology is very important, right? Because to host these kind of events, what's happened is all of a sudden technology has taken the center stage. Because you cannot host events which are hybrid in nature or virtual in nature without the use of technology. And also for your planners, people who are attending your events, they expect the experience to be smooth. They expect the experience to be fast and reliable. Think about, for example, a YouTube or any other social media or where you access videos, right? If the stream is not high quality, if the stream does not work well on a single click, you would lose people, right? The same thing is with hybrid and virtual events as well. Is people who are attending virtually, you have to think about engaging them. So technology plays a critical role. Third, we talk about engagement. Engagement is very important. Right now, we're all sitting in the room. I could see you, you could see me, we could greet each other, we could shake hands, we could have a coffee outside, we could have lunch outside, we can exchange business cards. We will have a great experience. But people who are sitting virtually, they cannot engage with you in the same fashion. So we have to think about what we can do in our events and MICE and conferences to engage people virtually. A lot of MICE event venues as well. I think about, for example, I live in Singapore, Marina Bay Sands, or the Suntec City. What they have done is they have made their venues virtually like hybrid capable. So they have already installed and they have available video technology and AV team that could help manage a hybrid event. And this goes a long way in ensuring that events happen in a better pace. The other challenge is production level, because event planners, when we talk about, we were never production people. For events team, we were all about event execution, finding the right venue, making sure catering is done, making sure speakers, we get the information, they are taken care of, and things like that. We were never event video and content producers, so that's an issue as well. And then engagement and also managing people and managing the workforce, which is something, this is also getting very, very prominent right now. Hybrid, remote workplace norms are something that is also being a bit of a disruptor in the MICE industry right now as we speak. So as we go ahead, when we talk about event planners, right, let's talk about pre-pandemic and during and post-pandemic. What you see on the left is what was the role of event planning team, the event format before pandemic. So before pandemic, as you can see for a planner, the three key things for a planner were event planning, marketing of the event, and providing data from that event, right? Those were the three key things or KPIs for event planners. But due to the pandemic and now post-pandemic, we added a few more things. Health and safety. For instance, coming to this event for IDCF, for health and safety, the team was in constant touch with us for people who are traveling to ensure that we have taken the COVID test, to ensure that we've also got the PCR test before we left our destination, but also managing health and safety at the event, at the venue. And then video production, because events have to be hybrid. This is also hybrid, so that is also an added responsibility and a challenge for events team. And finally, the tech stack, because we have to upskill ourselves and we have to use technology, because without that, frankly, we will not be able to drive value from events and meetings. So those things have together added and made events more complex, made events more expensive to host, and at the same time, made events more challenging for the entire events team. To do that, I'm going to talk and show you another video which talks about total event program. Now, we've been trying to push this concept for 2 decades right now, and this is something when you talk about the West, North America, you talk about Europe, you talk about Asia Pacific, like for instance, even Singapore, and to some extent Hong Kong, right, and even Australia, organizations are looking to have one technology stack for events. Because we don't want to have different technologies and they don't talk to each other, and that's more and more technology that you have to learn. So very quickly, a video on the total event program. So what you saw right now on the last section of the video, you saw a scoring mechanism, right? A scoring for an attendee. So when we talk about digitization, in the last 5 years, there's been tremendous digitization of events. And I'll just go back and say, when people talk about events industry, yes, we have taken it on the face. It's been the most difficult time for events industry due to the pandemic, whether it's hotels, whether it's organizations or travel, we've all been hit very hard. But at the same time, what's happened because of this, it has challenged us to innovate, to use technology, to adapt technology. And happy to see that the innovations that have happened across the world in the events industry in the last 2 years is faster than what had happened in the last decade. Especially when you look at virtual events, hybrid events, technology around traveling as well. So when we talk about total event program, I'll leave it there, not spend too much time on this. But what a total event program is for organizations to manage all different kind of events, internal and external, with the same technology. And then the technology is integrated. It also brings the data back to a marketing solution that you could be using. So MICE events are more constructive. MICE events are more easier to manage. Now let's take a pause and talk about the experience around attendees. Like, what do they expect at events these days? And this is important for us to know when we're promoting a destination, when we're promoting events and MICE in any industry. Attendees' expectation has also grown and has changed because of the pandemic. And if we are able to reiterate to that and be able to relate our events, that will only make events more meaningful. So when we talk about experiences these days, the expectations, one, attendees expect a more personalized and curated experience. We don't want people to be treated the same way. So for instance, if I'm a speaker at your event, my experience in coming to that event and attending that event will be different than a general attendee. If I'm a VIP, my experience would be different than a general attendee, and so on. Even if you have events with different type of people coming in, different groups coming in, the experience should be different. Also, in-person events, People expect them to be more meaningful, and at the same time interactive. The broadcasting, which is happening even right now at this event, the quality needs to be great. The quality needs to be good. That is an important aspect of an event as well. Then at the same time, the fourth point, networking, connections, and engagements. Allowing people to network in a safe way, allowing people sitting virtually attending your conference from their office, from their home, for them to be able to still have the options to connect with the audience out there. I think that is also something which is very, very critical. And as we move along, I'll just take a minute to quickly talk about these few, and then also bring to you how technology can help you cover the gap. So when we talk about a personalized, curated experience, where does that start? What we talk about, that it should start at the basic level. Even your first touch point with an attendee should be personalized. So it starts right when you invite them to an event, right from the first email invitation that goes out to your event. What we still see, and if that is still happening, I think that's something you need to change as soon as possible, is if you're still sending generic emails to people, right? The first thing is customizing it, personalizing it, but it doesn't just stop there. The curated experience continues when they sign up for your event, when they give you feedback, when you ask questions, what do you want in the event? What are the speakers that you want to, or sessions that you want to attend, or the speakers that you want to follow, right from when they have registered to once they come to that event. If they're attending it virtually, then are they able to see the same schedule for that virtual event? That is something which is very, very critical. And that is possible today with the use of event technology. And not just that, the second thing we talk about is delivering meaningful experiences. Now, when I talk about meaningful experiences, I have another quick video which talks about designing your space. This is a technology that is solely, what this technology is doing right now is helping planners to design their venue. It's a 3D tool that helps you design the flow of your venue. For instance, how you're going to set up tables, where should the podium be, and this is something that is being used worldwide right now. So just have a look at this. Venues need to provide to planners versus planners licensing it individually. So think about a planner coming to your venue for planning an event, and they have a technology available right from your website that you give them access to be able to design the venue in a 3D format. And at the same time, what they should be able to do is, if you have safety protocols, for example, the tables need to be 6 feet distance or something like that, it can check and ensure that the venue is planned based on those protocols. So very easy to use technology. Third thing we talk about is event apps. I was at an event recently at the Para Destination Forum, which happened in Hatyai, and we were one of the partners for Para as well. And we offered them to have an app, and they said, okay, great, we will try a mobile app for the event where attendees can download that and have a better experience and network with each other. And the response that we had is where 85% of people attending the event in person downloaded the app. And they had more than 500 networking touch points, which they would never be able to manage. So event technology in terms of mobile apps is something which is very critical as well, and something that we bring to our audience. And at the end, it's a very networked and a unanimous experience, right from someone coming to attend your event to having the mobile app to be able to even come on site and even access video content post-event. These days, post-event content and information is as critical as during the event. A lot of organizations, what they do, and the best practices we want to share with you, is after the event is over, they make the sessions and the content available on demand. And this still generates more leads and people coming in and accessing the content, and helps people to get more united with your brand. So as we move on, in the interest of time, this is one last thing I want to show you, one last video that I have, and this is about check-in. Now, checking into the event, printing badges, and sustainability is very critical to us as well, and we promote that to our customers. I'm very thankful that today's badge that has been printed, this is a sustainable badge. We're not using any plastic holders, and it's a badge where you just put the lanyard on. This is the kind of thing that we should be promoting to organizers as well. But this could be made easier with the use of technology. And not just checking in people, but also understanding what is happening at the event, what sessions are people attending, and more data like that. So a quick video that I think this one you would find very, very interesting. So as you saw in the video, with digitization, what we're able to bring to events now is contactless, very easy way for attendees to check into an event, get their badge printed, then at the same time for planners to be able to track where people are moving, what sessions is everyone attending, and to have the data real time in their hand, in the palm of their hand, to be able to see what's my session capacity, how many people are walking into a session. You can also manage safety, as we say, so you can also keep a track on attendees' vaccination status and ensure that they're fully vaccinated when they're attending your events. The third is interactive broadcasting. So we have a platform which we talk about. There should be a proper platform for virtual attendees as well. It should not be more like, hey, there's a link and there's a video, there's a website that you go to. It should be a gated and a secure technology where virtual attendees should be able to access the sessions. They should be able to also communicate with you. Because in case of a virtual event, technology is your venue. Let's keep that in mind. Technology is your venue for that. I'll skip the next video in the interest of time. And the last thing that we talk about is networking, connections, and engagement. How are people be able to connect and network if they're attending the events virtually as well? Well, we try and make that simple. So globally, virtual technology actually saw a lot of innovation due to the pandemic. We see companies like Zoom, their stock just went like 100 times, and a lot of organizations just grew very, very rapidly because of this. And virtual is important because it is still going to be the case for the next year or so, or even more than that. The pandemic could be still up and down. There could be cases that could rapidly spike up. There could be cases that could go down. But we believe that hybrid events, so virtual, will still stay to be a very important part of your meetings and events program. So virtual technology is critical. Imagine attendees just networking with each other at the click of a button, having a video conference for them to be able to even connect, find other attendees, connect with them, network with them, exchange contact information, and start chatting and even discussing things with them. And even having sessions where you can have group sessions of attendees talking, networking, and discussing together. Folks, these are the key things and the technology that is being used worldwide right now, and it's bringing a lot of value to events, to MICE, and to the industry. So that's all about my session today, about digitization, to bring to you what the world is doing right now and how digitization is happening in our industry. I'll say this one last time. The last 2 years, we've seen more growth and digital adoption than what we saw in the last decade in the events industry. And I can tell you we are as good as the technology that we use to plan our events and meetings and hosting safer and more meaningful events. For any other information, I'll be happy to connect with you. Thank you so much for giving us time. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.